Now, listen, first and foremost, I will talk about that, but I want to talk about the video of where there was actually a screenshot of the report that you sent to the other guy. So where did that screenshot come from? If you claim that you didn't give it to him or you don't know where it got it from?
I have not published any report on my page yet.
No, but it was a screenshot from you. Your name showed that it came from you. It was a conversation that both of you were having. And the screenshot shows where you deleted your post, but he responded to the post you deleted, which showed the report.
I would have loved to see it.
I would have loved to see it. I don't know why they're not bringing it on. But with that evidence on ground, how do you now say that you don't know him or you don't know how he got hold of the report? Because it was a screenshot of his conversation with you.
I haven't even posted the report. All my documents, I brought it physically to the show.
So where did he get that report from then?
I need to see the report before I can.
Now, what people really want to know is that this your last video. You were actually almost gloating or laughing at people who have dispelled or don't believe in your analysis. And up to now, you have not really given us enough report in depth to really prove that you do have this cancer. So for those who dispel your or who disbelieve your claim, what do you have to say?
It is not in my position to convince anybody about my health issues. I have all the necessary, documents here, their hospitals, but I don't think it is wise for me to publish my report on social media. People can personally scrutinize, people that are reputable, people that want to check their hospitals, to do their necessary investigation. I don't think cancer is something anybody wants to lie about.
Yeah, but if you say that people have a right to the privacy of your report, I think they're very entitled to, because they're donating to a cause. They must know that this cause does exist.
Yes, like from the initial stage, I cried out on social media, not because I wanted money, I was genuinely concerned and worried.
But you also said it was stage 4.
Yeah, that was what I was told.
Who were you told that?
That was what I was told.
That's what my doctor told you?
Yes, so that was like when I said stage 4.
How did you know that it was stage 4? How did your doctor know that it was stage 4?
It's from the report. When they did the biopsy. I don't know, I'm not a medical...
Well, let me ask the doctor in the house. This is why I brought her in. Okay. So from what Blessing is saying, she discovered, when the first time she went to the doctor, as she said, it was a lump, and they told her it was non-cancerous, right?
Yes.
She goes back there 6, 7, 8 months later,
yeah.
and that's how she discovered that it was cancer stage 4. So, as a doctor, what are the procedures what would you like to ask her concerning how she got from that level to the stage 4 level?
First of all, I'm very interested to know what type of doctor you saw, because there's a lot of disparity that I don't expect in medical personnel.
Okay, what are disparities?
So first of all, when a patient comes to me and complains of a lump, I will not do a biopsy first. I will first do an imaging. So I'll tell you to either do an ultrasound scan if you're less than 40, you're 35, 40. Then if you're above 40, you can do a mammogram before we get to the biopsy. And if you then do a biopsy, depending on what we're suspecting based on your history, you either do a fine needle aspiration cytology or a core biopsy, right? And after that, even if, because what you're describing kind of sort of sounds like you did a fine needle aspiration cytology, right? Even at that, no doctor on the surface of this earth that is qualified would allow a patient to move around with a lump in their breast for 6 months, because you don't know. Even if you do a fine needle aspiration cytology, they can be false negative. There's a very high chance of it being false negative. So you can never tell unless you remove the lump and you do a proper biopsy of the lump.
So I find it
very interesting that so I'm interested to know the type of doctor you saw. What type of doctor?
It's an oncologist.
Okay, so now fantastic. So I work in a teaching hospital. We don't send patients to an oncologist unless you have a core biopsy result. Because usually you start with a general surgeon who established the fact that it is cancerous. And oncologist is not the first person. Based on the fact that you even said the person said it is not cancerous, no doctor will send you. That's why I'm interested to know the doctor. No doctor will send you to an oncologist with a non-malignant result.
Like I said, you go into the hospital, I noticed a lump on my boobs.
Was it Lagos or Enugu?
It was in Enugu.
Okay.
So I went into the hospital.
Was it a teaching hospital?
No, it wasn't a teaching hospital. It was a private hospital.
Okay, and it has an oncologist. That private hospital has an oncologist.
Let me explain.
Okay.
So walking into the hospital, you go to a normal doctor. I don't even know what they're called, but he went to a doctor, he examined, he found the lumps.
Okay.
That was when he said, let's do a biopsy. I don't know what a biopsy is.
Without an imaging?
No.
That's very strange.
No imaging, because
is that possible?
It's not possible. It's not possible. Because biopsy is very invasive. Nobody will grab your breast and just do a biopsy without an imaging.
There was no imaging.
Was it the left breast or the right breast?
The left breast.
Okay.
So they didn't do an imaging, they just said go for a biopsy. It was when I went for the biopsy, it took about
Was it painful?
What was the biopsy process like?
Yes, what was the process like?
I think they gave me a little, I don't know if it's anesthesia to like numb the pain a little bit, then an incision close to the nipple.
And what came out?
That's not the procedure. We don't do an incision.
I don't know, but something went into my...
Okay, so
my results are
you say
here.
that's false? It's not possible to...
No, yeah, it's not sounding like a fine needle. It's not sounding like a core biopsy. It's not sounding like a fine needle. We use a needle. It's a needle.
This one is like how do I put it? Why do you call it a machine? I don't know the right terms.
Oh, listen, we don't use machine for biopsy as well. That's an invasive procedure. We use a needle.
Something went into my boobs. They brought some...
I think what type of your boobs?
The lump was found under my boobs. It moves sometimes. Sometimes it looks as if it dips. And so I think around that place, I think they said they bring out, I don't know if there's particle of the lumps or thereabout. That's what they say. Yeah, they took for the biopsy.
Machine.
Sorry, is
maybe a pin?
No, it's
medically feasible.
No, it's a long needle.
Maybe
that's why the trigger.
What's the size of the needle they used for you? If you can estimate it.
How do I
was it like 2 inches long, 1 inch long? How was it?
I was lying down, so it looked like you're seeing exactly what is happening. And I'm not in the medical term, so I don't want to say the things.
I'm sorry to say this, right? I saw that you studied economics, right? Okay, fantastic. I interesting enough, I dropped econs for further maths because economics was very, very detailed and very, very. So as someone that studied econs, I would expect you that if you have a life-threatening diagnosis, you should know it in and out. Because when I see patients with chronic medical conditions, they know their condition in and out. Like sometimes they even know new researches that I have not even heard of because they are trying to survive. I find it very strange that you're mixing radiologists, oncologists. I feel like it's something you should know. It is
No, it's not something I should know because cancer is not something I am aware about. I've said it
no, but
over
you've
and
been
over
given this. It's been 2 weeks since you came out to talk about this, and you mentioned stage 4. That was the first video I ever saw from you.
Yes,
that was
that was
stage 4. How did they come about that stage 4?
I'm not supposed to know, so maybe at this
It
point
is
we're going
your
to
life.
That's what I'm trying to say. At this point, we're going to be asking the medical doctor. So when this whole shenanigans came out on social media, everybody just say, let's get a second and a third
but
option.
Okay, so let me say
How
something.
did you know it was stage 4?
Exactly, how did you know it was
How did
stage?
you
Because he
know
seems quite
it was
confident with that stage 4.
Because that was what I was told. I'm not a medical
How is it
doctor.
possible to say you have stage 4?
It was the same guy. It was that same Enugu doctor.
Yes.
Is it on your report?
Exactly.
Can you show the doctor?
I will share.
Yes, I'm interested
I will
to
share.
see.
So this is your stage 4 report. Is it the doctor that told you that it was stage 4?
Yes, the
By the
doctor
time you went there the
said
second time.
Yes.
But
Just based on seeing you was when you calculated it was stage 4.
I do not know them. I don't want to say
what do you
things.
understand? Because if someone tells me something, right, I would go and read up on it. Right. So what did you understand by stage 4? Because I'm assuming that you don't want to die, right? So if someone tells you stage 4, it sounds advanced, right? Or you don't know that.
Yeah, that's the reason why I broke off on social media.
Social media to
but how did
answer
you
the
get
question
to
for you. What was social media? What was your goal on social media?
Now, as a medical practitioner, when they tell you you have cancer, it's already traumatic alone.
Okay.
I didn't even have the guts to go and start reading. In fact, the major reason I came on social media was I wanted to see people who have experienced the same thing.
Yeah, but the big question is how did you conclude that it was stage 4?
Stage 4,
Is the doctor
exactly.
just look at you and say, oh, this is stage 4?
She's willing to share the report.
Yes.
Why not allow the doctor to look at it?
That was what I was told.
Yes, I'm very
Can
interested.
she look at it?
That's what I was
And let me
saying.
ask you, as a lawyer, if someone publicly claims...
It's interesting that you're bringing the same results to me because Dr. Odigwe, the pathologist that signed this report, because of course we have
Is it the same report as the one that was...
Yes, the pathologist that signed this result lives in Asaba. And I'm a doctor, of course. I can trace any doctor in Nigeria. And I called him on Tuesday.
Sorry,
and he
is
knows
that
nothing
the same
about-
report
Yes,
that
it's the
you
same
saw
result. It's the same result that is going around social media. And this particular pathologist said he knows nothing about this. And he's based in Asaba, not
The pathologist of the report?
Yes, of this report is based in Asaba. I know that for an absolute fact.
So he told you, that's the first one?
Yes, because, yes.
He told you that he has nothing to do with it?
Yes, and he stays in Asaba. The address here is Enugu. He hasn't been to Enugu in recent times. He lives in Asaba.
So how do you respond to that?
This
Let's go
pathologist
ahead
stays
and-
in
Because they say that the
Asaba.
pathologist that he puts in that report, which you claim
That
is
signed this
the report.
result, but stays in Asaba. That I know for an absolute fact.
Please, I want to ask again. Is this report the same report that we saw last week?
Yes, it is. It's
So
the
this
same one.
report that we saw last week, that blessing you claim you didn't post on your Instagram page and on your social media page, is the same report that guy,
Yes,
the guy that
exactly.
we saw on the video, which unfortunately they have not been able to show us, is the same report he printed. So this is your real report. So that's the what happened to the brother of the girl who claims that this report was forged.
I don't know who the person is.
So it's not a fake report.
No, it's not a fake.
But the brother of the girl that you just saw just now says this report is his sister's report.
It's not.
And this doctor stays in
So are you
Asaba.
saying, and number one, you're saying you don't know that man. Number two, you're also saying you didn't post this report
I didn't.
to the guy who just spoke on social media.
Absolutely.
But for some coincidence or some funny reason, the reports tally. The report the guy posted and the report here, they're totally the same, word for word.
You know, this doesn't tell us that it's stage 4.
Well, you're not even saying the oncologist whose name is
No,
there.
the pathologist.
Whose name is there said he
He
doesn't
lives in
know.
Asaba and he doesn't know anything about this.
So basically, what do you say about
Diagnosed
that?
cancer?
No, so the way it works is that, you know, in medicine there are different fields, right? So the process for a person that comes with a breast lump, you don't know what it is. So the first stage is to go for imaging. You come back from imaging. Right now, the modality is to do a biopsy, fine needle aspiration biopsy. Even if it comes out benign, you have to take out the lump. You cannot go because you cannot be very sure
from the
You know, yes,
you
no,
can ask
that
whether
is-
she wanted it or not.
That is not your choice. Unless you discharge yourself against or you do it against medical advice. It's not likely. You cannot come to me and say you're not ready unless you're not medically fit. Maybe you're very sick, you're pregnant, you're not medically fit. Well, it's a if they're thinking it's benign, it's a simple surgery. It's not invasive.
Okay.
It's a day surgery. Some people go home that same day. They do go home that same day.
No, but you see, right now it is there are conflicting. There's already inconsistency because on one hand you're showing her the same report that was displayed last week. Listen, I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
You're showing her the same report that was displayed last week. Meanwhile, you're saying you're not the one that sent it to that
I
guy.
have not seen the result.
Yeah,
That
but there was a screenshot.
Yes, so like I
So you
said,
have another report.
everybody says, okay, go for an open option. So I went to Luke's cancer center, to do the same stuff. So they gave me a couple of.
What did they do?
I did my whole stuff. So they asked me to
What
do
are the
a couple
steps?
Because you need
of.
to be more.
You have to be very, very specific now, please.
I'm not a medical doctor.
You can't say that. Exactly, it's life threatening. You can't say that.
So,
Yes.
so these are the tests I'm running. So maybe when the
Not
test,
enough that you have run.
no, they just asked me to.
So by stage 4, shouldn't you have already run those tests?
They didn't ask me to run this, so it is not my fault.
I know, but I'm curious as to how you came to stage 4 conclusion.
That was what I was told.
Without any tests being done.
I mean, this doesn't prove anything, unfortunately, because
What's that report that you
it
have?
just says it states a series of tests that you should carry out.
If what?
It's just a series of tests, chest X-ray, that we do to confirm metastasis, right? But this is not solid enough because I can enter LastTooth right now and write anybody's name and write the series of tests, right?
The result is not out.
This is not a result, exactly. So results will be more
So
exactly.
let the result come out. I can now come back and show it to you people.
Okay. Can I say something? Based on the fact that you said that you're a very vocal person, which I agree with, when you did your cosmetic surgery, which Nigerians generally stigmatize, right? And they frown on.
The BBL?
Yes.
Okay.
And they frown on, right? You were very vocal. You showed us when you were on the bed, your process, your healing. So I'm wondering, I don't know if you know this, but 16,000 to 24,000 women die every year from breast cancer. So I'm wondering why you're not using this opportunity to create proper, clear awareness. Because most of these women that are dying in Nigeria, it is from late diagnosis, it is from poor diagnosis, it is from them thinking that it is spiritual. So I'm wondering why you're not using this avenue. And I'm also curious, do you still have the lump in that left breast as we speak right now?
Thank you for this question. I have not been given the opportunity. Like I said, maybe it came off controversial, or maybe because there was an account number that was put out there. I think that was where the whole drama started from.
Which I also have a question about, because I deal with cancer patients all the time, funny enough, breast cancer, and unfortunately my patient still died 2 days ago. So I understand the thought process of a typical cancer patient. So usually what you didn't have a treatment plan. How did you know how much you were going to spend? Because I know you have a Benz, right, which is quite expensive. You have a car, you have properties. So why was the account number the first thing you put forward? Most cancer patients don't know how much they're going to spend, right? And they exhaust their phone. Bear in mind that you don't even know the stage. What if it's stage 1? That you probably won't spend more than maybe 10 million. And you can afford 10 million.
Perfect question. My account number was not the first thing that was put out.
It was put out that same day.
No, it wasn't put out that same day.
I saw it that same day.
Absolutely not. In fact, the first video that was put out was me.
Okay, so
crying.
when was it?
Yeah, but how did you know how much?
Yes, what was your target? What was your target?
I didn't actually put an amount. I just put out my account number.
What was your target?
What influenced the decision?
Exactly.
Yes.
That's exactly what I wanted
The
to
decision
do.
to put it out.
Exactly. When I cried out, the first thing I did, they said, first of all, when they are doing your...
Who was this day? Is this still the same good doctor?
First of all, when they are doing your, maybe when they want to take out your books or thereabouts, it was exaggerated. So I'm going to say there's
What was exaggerated?
a misinformation, because they're saying if they check your left breast, it would have spread to the right.
So yes, necessarily spread to the
Because
right.
you can't tell.
That's what I'm saying. These are diagnoses.
Because you didn't do it. You didn't even do an imaging. So how do they?
How do you know how- what
exactly?
expect?
It's not based on assumption.
And information that was passed to me.
I'm just wondering, what was your target amount? Because now, if your treatment, let's assume your treatment for this stage 4 happens to be 40 million, right? And you have been given maybe 150 million. What happens to that remaining money? So what was your target? Because when people set up GoFundMe, right, they put a target, right? They say, okay, $10,000, we're trying to raise 20 million. Well, you can't just put an account. Yes, you can't just put an account and just be collecting money indefinitely.
And that's what I'm trying to explain.
I don't
The account
understand that
number
part.
didn't come up. The first
But
video...
it still came up.
Hold on, let
listen.
me explain. The first video that came up was me trying to get clarity. The second video was me now. People say, oh, cancer is going on. The first video was me putting on my car for sale. The third video was me putting on my house for sale and my personal belongings.
Okay.
Have you sold them at this time?
Well, you don't get buyers immediately because they're quite high.
Okay.
Yes. So it was when I put it out, that was when friends said, why do you have to sell your property? When you finish this treatment, when do you want to come back to? Just put an account number, anything one can raise. I didn't specify any amount.
Before you ask a question, I would like to ask, at this point when there's just so much doubt and so much disbelief in your cancer claims, have you felt any urge to refund money that have been given to you until you can prove that you really do have this cancer?
Okay. A lot of people who said...
Has it been suggested that people advised you that maybe you should do that?
Yes, a couple of people who have reached out. I think a lot of them have not been able to put out evidences. If you have an evidence that you sent me money and you want me to refund you, I wouldn't mind. I would do that.
No, but I'm not even saying wait till they approach you. I'm saying as a matter of principle, because your cancer diagnosis is still unclear even as we speak, that whether you should go the extra mile to ensure that you have all the necessary documents on ground. Show it to the public. This is the stage I've gone through. This is the mistake I made at the beginning, but this is where I'm at now. This is the stage I'm at now. I've done A, B, C, D, E. That will tally to what a medical person expects. Based on that, you've returned the funds, and then when you've now done that, let them now use their own discretion to decide whether or not to send you the money. Are you prepared to take that chance?
Why not? Why not?
Can I ask you to also how much you have raised so far, or you won't be able to discuss that?
Well, I can.
How much have you raised
I
so
think
far?
it should be about maybe 11, 12 million.
You've raised 11, 12 million.
Yeah.
Because we heard 100 over 100.
They're just exaggerating.
Okay.
Sorry, I have a question, just a quick question. The lump that you found in July that was non-cancerous, was the doctor saying that result was wrong, or that lump is now cancerous?
Is now cancerous.
That
Is it possible to have a non-cancerous lump that now becomes cancerous?
No, it's not likely. If, for example, the commonest lump that I would expect you to have that was non-cancerous, that is benign, is fibroadenoma. And fibroadenoma never becomes, you won't live long enough for it to undergo
So what
malignant
you're saying
change.
now is not physically possible
Unless
to have
it
a
was
non-cancerous lump
cancer
that
in
now
July
becomes cancerous.
and they missed the cancer in July. That sounds more
so
likely.
they missed the
And
cancer.
that's what I'm
So
saying.
they
That
missed the
sounds
cancer.
more likely. Even at that, funny, my patient last week, her first diagnosis was last November. And she's already so toxic. Like the breast is already fumigating, it's smelly, her arms are big. And so I'm just worried that if they miss the cancer in July and you're still carrying this lump till March, or okay, we're in April now, it's very worrisome actually.
Sorry, doctor, when we say stage 4 cancer, can you be descriptive?
So when you're saying that something is stage 4,
Yes.
right? It means
What would
that
the breast
it has
stage 4
spread.
cancer look like?
You can't really tell from the breast. Well, the staging is based on the spread. It just means that it has spread to a
It
distant.
has spread.
So it has spread to a distant organ. So it has gone to the liver. It has gone to either the liver, bone, lungs, So that is basically that it has spread. That is what stage 4 means. It doesn't really
Will it
mean
affect the
that
patient physical
yes,
appearance?
of course. By the time it's going to the liver, and it has affected a lot of the liver, or the majority of the liver. You can start having jaundice. You start having nausea. You start having all those symptoms. If it has gone to the lung, you have difficulty in breathing. But so it just depends on people have back pain and they cannot stand anymore.
Okay, thank you so much for this. And blessing, we all do wish you well.